Okay, another game. So yeah, coming back to this ergonomic thing, and during the game, I think, you know, as well as not exhausting yourself during the game, if you can actually stimulate yourself to find interesting, you know, exotic variations, then I think the speed of calculating those will be, with greater enthusiasm, I think it'll be quicker, more accurate, because you're trying to make these beautiful things work. And as I mentioned in a Blitz video, I think yesterday, you know, sometimes you'll spot weaknesses as well, which might actually be relevant for the meat and potato ideas of the position. You know, the more bog standard ideas of the position, you're suddenly aware of these weaknesses. So I think if we treat ourselves with care, you know, when we think, we want to stimulate, I think, our creativity, and at the same time not exhaust ourselves. So this idea of the perfect game is probably bad if you're going to play multiple, you know, games in the season, and it's probably bad anyway, even during a single game if you're exhausted. But anyway, let's get on to this. So exchange French, which unfortunately is really kind of popular for some reason. So I use this fianchetto system, and I lost the game last night actually because of the C7 square against the knight b5. So I think a6 to stop knight b5s. When someone points a bishop at the c7, I'm a bit wary now in the exchange French. c7, why is it so vulnerable? Why? Anyway, so if I aim for like a bishop h3 or something, I'll just get rid of the light square bishops first and then try and get to e4, maybe knight d6, f5, e4. No, knight d6 will drop a pawn anyway. But he's weakening his king side now. But I think I have to go back to e7. Maybe rook f7 if he doubles. So white has that trump card, not of the e-file. I mean, the e-file's shared, but he's got extra pressure, and my rooks are awkward around the e-file. So probably at the moment, you know, he's got a nasty bind on the position. And in fact, he's breaking out my e5 square. If I take knight g5, there's rook f4 maybe, but bishop g5 is a nasty pin, or is it? I think I might be able to afford this. Queen d7, or queen d6. Maybe h3 is now vulnerable. Don't know. Maybe this is okay. Doesn't look too pleasant because of knight e5, bishop e7, and knight e5 possibilities. Unless there's rook takes f3, knight d4, knight takes e2. No, I don't know. No, I'd need that for e7. I can take on e5. I think I'm losing a pawn actually by force or something. Something horrible about this pressure. Culmination now on e7. Bishop e7, rook e7. Oh, just knight e5, of course. Then he's on my d5 pawn. Unless I've got queen e6, if I just take, then queen e6. He's stuffed his rooks up though, so if I can get away with this, I've got f5, I've got f-file pressure. I just don't want to drop d5. Okay, so if I just somehow protect, I don't want to allow knight e4 either. So I'll just protect d5 again. And there's knight e4. Well, that's protecting that. Otherwise, knight e4 would have been possible. What about rook? Oh no, rook d7. Then knight f5. Again, I'm on the watch out for knight e4s. Queen's protecting the rook there, so knight f5 might actually be possible. It's a nice blockader here. Okay, so what have I achieved so far? I've got a nice knight on f5. His bishop's kind of trapped in there. I know it's staring at my king, but I've got the option always of rook f6. In fact, if rook here, then rook f6 just wins a piece, I think, because the rook on e1. So rook g2 is not playable, and he's just played it. You see, look, positional sacks of rook f6 has exposed a slight tactical vulnerability if the rook moves. That's proved my point. It's proved my point. So, you know, I was on the lookout for that. On the lookout. Ready and waiting. except it's just backfired. Ah, didn't see that one, did I? Ah. Okay, panic stations. How do I defend now? Ah. I don't know, it looks terrible. Oh dear, I think I have to go back here. And then maybe knight e7 is threatened. I play queen f7. That knight d4. Knight d4 here to kick the queen might be good. Queen goes to say d3. Then just knight e6. I'll try that. I'm not getting blown away tactically, am I, again with f7 or rook g6. Hopefully I'm defending g6. Okay, I'll take. So what? Knight f6, is that the plan? Knight f6. I don't want to allow my queen being lost with check, so this is all getting a bit razor sharp now. King here. So if knight takes, rook takes queen, I'm on the queen anyway. Queen e5 maybe takes. This is a bit unpleasant compared to, I should have really checked this out, this queen f5. But the principle's there, that, you know, the possibility of rook f6, you know, these ideas are in the position and you get echoes of them. So here I'm just going to try and just outplay him in this endgame now. Isn't that knight stranded anyway after this move? Where's the knight going here? He's going to have to defend it with his rook. So as long as I don't give the knight f6 or d6, can I just get the king to f8 to try and swallow this knight? Okay, rook e7, rook d8. It's not really being swallowed. Got to get my king out of the action here. So I think h5 could be useful for h4 later. He's going to win c7. All gets a bit nasty, doesn't it? Oh. And rook e7's out of the question. What about just rook f8? Rook f8 if rook d8. Alright, so I'll play that, maybe with the idea of rook f8. Okay, so there's a pin now. Transformed my little piece issue here that he has. So knight d6 threatens to swallow the knight or win the exchange. Knight d6 here, and he's defending it again. Oh, he's getting away with it. Knight d6. Oh, the knight's still not good there. Oh, let's just get my king in. Forget about the knight. I'm just going to go and munch his queenside pawns, if possible, without losing all my pawns. He's going to play knight c5 next, so I'll get ready for that. Can I defend c6? I'll put this pawn there, ready for the king invasion. Just dropped that pawn, great. Right, king invasion to c3, long-term planning. Maybe that's his weakness. He's not looking at the long-term aspect of the position. How can my king, where can my king drive to? I'm hoping can drive somewhere without losing a3 and the other one. Okay, king can sort out his f pawn. If I can just win a2, I'll be on my way with the a3 pawn after all that. So king, I'll wait for king e6. Does it matter about that? Okay, so a2's coming over. Block this pawn anyway. So b4 and then a2. Okay. I think that's over. Yep, I've gone over 2300 as well with this game. So horrible exchange French, horrible e-file pressure, horrible C7 vulnerability, horrible binds now with G4, forcing me to retract at E7, just doubling up the rooks on E7. So I would call this an uncomfortable position. Now maybe G5 was actually important here, I don't know. When I allowed G5 though, he's exposing some weaknesses in this position in the F file. Fg is possible because I'm threatening rook F4. This looks nasty, coordination of pieces though on E5 and E7, and there's still pressure on D5. But this gave me a blockade square, I'd say, of F5, and now this bishop F6 is giving me the continual possibility of the exchange sack rook F6, which, as I was talking about it, he lets that go, but that has the function of queen F5, so the queen is actually protecting F5 here. If I didn't play rook F6, maybe he's just going to play rook G1, and I don't know, I can't see him building up pressure there. Or rook G6 working too quickly, because the knight's actually doing a good job of stopping the queen from coming to G3. So this blockade on F5 is important though. You know, maybe king F8 just to stop F5 being such a liability. So all in all, this was perhaps a blunder by me because of queen F5. So I'm just losing that D5 pawn. Now this position, you know, F7 looked tempting and dangerous, which he played, and this looked tempting and dangerous, but his knight temporarily got stranded. But he resourcefully gets his knight out. But now, you know, I detect here, in all honesty, his mode of thinking is very tactical, because there's been a load of stunts to do with saving his knight. But stunts are low-level horizon, you know, calculations. You know, they require calculation of a few moves ahead, no more. But the king march is an undertone here, which I think was the difference between me and him now, that I was thinking, I've got to get his queenside pawns, and it doesn't matter if I lose one or two pawns, I've got to get my king going on this journey. See, look at his king, he didn't move it. He's been thinking tactically all the time, you know, win pawn, win this pawn. He's not moving his king, so who ends up with the major trump card of importance here? Me, because so what, he's won his material up or whatever, he's a pawn up. My king march has yielded me this hugely dangerous A pawn, which wins the game. But anyway, that's my story. Comments or questions on YouTube, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks very much.